everyone, Mrs. Fortin here. Welcome to landscape painting with a fishy flair. One of the things that we're going to do first of all is go through your box of goodies. So Mrs. Fortin always makes a box of her own so that we can do this together. Newspaper, spray bottle, basics paints, 6-pack, some brushes. This one is a large flat brush. This one is a small flat brush. You've got a copy of some landscapes that are kind of underwater landscapes, and then just some underwater scenery. Okay, that one. All right, so what else we have? We have a brush like this, which is called a extra small flat brush, but they have numbers on them. You could have had anyone from size 4 to 12. Okay, so this one happens to be a 12. Canvas board. Okay, so this is basically canvas wrapped over a thicker tag board, and this is what we're going to use to paint on tonight. These little scrap pieces of paper that I have here, I just have an abundance of these things. So these guys right here are wonderful for putting the paint on. Okay, so that's in there as well. You also got a little letter from Mrs. Fortin with all of those things on it. Should have also gotten a copy of the color wheel. A couple of things that are on there just so you're aware of. Also, you should have gotten a piece of transfer paper, which we will use in the next session. And then some tropical fish pictures. Also, pencil, paint shirts, plastic container. So hopefully you've got some of those things at home that you'll use. I didn't put them in the box though. Okay, so once you get a place to work and all of your supplies out, we'll get ready to start. All right, now that we're done with looking at what we've got for materials, we can go ahead and get started. The first thing I want you to do is put down some newspaper in your spot. Then you can go ahead and put down your canvas board. Now, I always like to make sure that my students have enough newspaper around their project so that they can go back and forth wildly. You can have your canvas board landscape or portrait. I'm going to do portrait, okay? On the video for Blackboard, I did landscape, so I'm switching it up, okay? And you're going to want to start with your large flat brush, bucket of water. Go ahead and put a little bit of water all around your painting, okay? So you're just kind of covering that with water. Not a whole lot, just want to slightly dampen it. You won't have to use your water bottle at this point then if you get that wet enough. Okay, scrap piece of paper, starting with white. Blob down a little bit of white. Then you're going to add a little dab of blue. Okay. So I'm going to make a landscape so that you can see underneath the water. So I'm going to have a sky, then I'm going to have my water. Starting with the white, I go back and forth. Doesn't look like I'm doing anything. That's cool. Back and forth, back and forth. Always left, right, left, right. Then I'm going into my blue a little bit. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, I like to have my sky with a little bit of variety of color in it. Right now, it's just a solid light blue, and it can really quickly get overblended. So you want to make sure that you're not overblending. You want to just kind of, 10 to 12 strokes back and forth is probably plenty. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit more blue, leaving some of that very raw. Okay, so you can actually see some of my paint strokes in there. That's cool. You kind of want that. And then, if you have a lot of like cloudy areas, a way to kind of do that is you're just kind of texture, dabbing the brush on there. Okay, it gives it a little more cloudy look. So that's how we get that. Okay, that's my sky, and I'm sticking to it. Now, the water area, in order to identify that it is water, what you want to do is kind of add a little bit of green, and that gives it a little more aqua color. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and dab down a tiny little bit of green. Don't need a lot, just a little bit. Swishing brushes, small flat brush, a little bit of water on that. Going into the green, always mix darker colors into your lighter colors. Then you'll go through a lot less water. Okay, so you want to start with the lighter color, add a little bit of the darker color into it. So I've got my green, and I'm going to add that into my blue to get kind of an aqua-ish color. That color then gets mixed into my white. Then I'm ready to hit the water. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Now, if you've ever looked at a landscape where there's water, you want that line crisp, okay? Where water hits land or where water hits sky, you could take a ruler across that. It is a very straight edge, so please make sure that you've got a nice straight line up above. And the last little detail that we're going to do is just put a little bit of white right on that area. That's going to make it look kind of like there's waves in the water, and also the top surface of the water. Okay? And that's all we do tonight. That's it. We have to let this dry. So getting past that, we're done for tonight. I've got my base. We always want to start with what's in the background, then start adding stuff that's on top of that. It's much easier to paint background than try and paint around something. So if I started with a fish right here, I'd have to try and paint this around the fish, and that is not an easy task. So it's always better to start way back, furthest thing in the background, and then work your way up. Okay? See you tomorrow night.